Welcome you all dear students. In this module, I Dr. Shushma will be talking with you about the metabolism of amino acids that takes place in our body. As we know, proteins are the most abundant and the most abundant biomolecules in the human body. A total protein amounts corresponds to 14 grams for a normal man weighing about 70 kgs. A summary of all amino acids in the body is called as amino acid pool. How is this pool formed and how do we use it? An adult man breaks down approximately 300 to 500 grams of proteins to amino acids per day. This event is called a proteolysis. Approximately the same amount of amino acids incorporated into proteins at a process called proteosynthesis. Another source of amino acids, the proteins contained in the food, representing approximately 70 to 100 grams per day. The final source of amino acids is a pool of biosynthesis of non-essential amino acids, forming amino acids for about 30 to 40 grams daily. Around 120 grams of amino acids are degraded per day. In this process, amino acid skeleton can be divided into an amino group and a carbon chain. Each of them has a completely different fate. Amino acids may also serve as a precursor to many important substances for the body. Example, biogenic amines, heme or purines and pyridamines. The half-life of proteins is markedly different from proteins to protein and therefore it is not possible to give its average value. Generally, the structural proteins are more permanent, while the molecules of many enzymes exist very shortly and only for a few minutes or hours. Proteolysis is a complete protein degradation to free amino acids. Proteases and peptidases are not found only in the gastrointestinal tract but also in each cell like lysosomes. The proteolytic enzymes are classified into exopeptidase, endopeptidase, and some proteins are degraded by ubiquitin proteasome complex. Ubiquitin, a small protein, occurs in all eukaryotic cells. Protein designated for degradation in the proteasomes is marked by ubiquitin. This process is called as ubiquitinations if multiple molecules are present. In these sessions, you will be learning about a metabolism of proteins, amino acids degradation of amino acid carbon skeletons. Aaron Klinauer, Avram Harshako and Erwin Rose received the Nobel Prize for Chemistry which for the discovery of ubiquitin mediated protein degradation in 2004. Students now will learn about the essential and non-essential amino acids. Human body is able to synthesize only certain amino acids. The other amino acids must receive from the food. Some of the amino acids like branched chain amino acids, examples valine, leucine and isoleucine, and aromatic amino acids, phenylalanine and tryptophan. Then basic amino acids like lysine, sulfur containing amino acids like methionine with hydroxyl of threonine. Conditionally essential amino acids, example arginine and histidine. Non-essential amino acids like glycine, alanine, serine and so on. Important reactions in amino acids which takes place in the system. Firstly, decarboxylations. Decarboxylation means a removal of the carboxylic group. A biogenic amines are formed. Transaminations means an exchange of amino group with two oxo acids are formed. Oxidative deaminations means an oxidative removal of amino group. Two oxo acids are formed. Peptide bond formations, peptide and protein generation. Now we'll have a broad discussion about amino acids degradation. As we know, there are 20 amino acids. If 21 amino acids are included, that is selenocysteine. Basic proteinogenic amino acids which may be inserted into protein molecules during the translation process. Catabolism of their carbon skeletons covers approximately 10 to 15% of the energy requirements of the body. Amino acids may also serve as substrates for the biosynthesis of other nutrients like carbohydrates and lipids. Now we'll discuss separately the fate of amino nitrogen and metabolism of amino acid carbon skeleton. Firstly, removal of amino group. Removal of amino group is a crucial step in the amino acid catabolism. The nitrogen of the amino groups cannot be used for energy production and must be removed from our body. The first way is an amino nitrogen conversion to urea for about 90%, followed by urea excretion from the body via the urine. The second way is amino nitrogen releasing from glutamine in the form of ammonia in the tubular cells of the kidney, about 5%. Next is transamination. Transaminations are freely reversible reactions catalyzed by transaminases, where amino group of alpha amino acids is exchanged with oxo group of 2-oxo acid during transamination from the amino acids. This produces 2-oxo acid, while from the original 2-oxo acids amino acids is formed. The amino group is transferred by cofactor pyridoxal phosphate to oxo acid. Most of the amino acids undergo transformations in the degradation. Enzymes aspartate aminotransferase and alanine aminotransferase are concrete examples of transaminases that are normally detected as marker of potential damage to the liver cells. Catalyzed reactions of AST and ALT are presented in the scheme. The resulting 2-oxo acids are involved in energy metabolism within the cell. But there are exceptions that is not degraded by transamination. Next, glutamate and glutamine conversion. Conversion of carboxylic group in glutamate to amide group in glutamine is catalyzed by cytosolic enzyme glutamine synthetase. ATP and ammonia are also needed. This reaction is used in the cells of the CNS as the main detoxification mechanism, removing toxic ammonia from brain tissue. Emerging glutamine is the most important transport form of amino nitrogen in the blood. Provides glutamine as the highest plasma concentration of the amino acids, that is 0.6 millimolar per liter. 2 amino groups are stored in glutamine molecule. Glutamine is able to bring the amino to different biosynthetic process, for example in the synthesis of purine base. Mitochondrial enzyme glutaminase catalyzes the release of ammonia from glutamine hydrolytic deaminations, which frequently occurs in hepatocytes and kidney tubule cells. The ammonia produced in the liver mitochondria enters the urea cycle. In the kidneys, ammonia is excreted in the urine where it serves as a buffer. Next, oxidative deamination. During oxidative deaminations, amino group is converted to keto group with simultaneous release of ammonia. Glutamate is the only one amino acids that is deaminated with sufficient speed in the human body. Glutamate dehydrogenase catalyzing the oxidative deamination of glutamate is found in the mitochondrial matrix. This process demonstrates the following reaction. Glutamate plus NAD, which gives rise to alpha glutamarate, plus ammonia plus NADH plus hydrogen ion. The resulting ammonia enters the urea cycle and ketoglutarate may be used in the transaminations or prep cycle. The mentioned reaction is fully reversible and glutamate can be synthesized from alpha ketoglutamate and ammonia. We conclude that most of the amino acids undergo transamination and its degradations, and that the majority of amino nitrogen from amino acids is directly or indirectly concentrated in the molecule of glutamate or glutamine. Amino nitrogen is subsequently released in glutamase and glutamate dehydrogenase reaction. Let's study about the urea cycle. Urea formation involves 5 reactions. Firstly, carbamyl phosphate formation, which is catalyzed by mitochondrial carbamyl phosphate synthetase. Secondly, citrulline formation, which is catalyzed by ornithine transcarbamylase. Thirdly, arginosuccinate formation is catalyzed by arginosuccinate synthetase. Fourthly, arginosuccinate breakdown is catalyzed by arginosuccinate-lase. Fifthly, hydrolysis of arginine is catalyzed by arginase. The urea cycle is closely linked to the Krebs cycle. From emerging fumarate becomes aspartate. How does this reaction work? The fumarate is first hydrated to malate, which is converted to oxaloacetate by oxidation. Enzyme aspartate aminotransferase catalyzes transformation between glutamate and oxaloacetate. Resulting aspartate enters ornithine cycle. Glutamate is produced by transformation of degraded amino acids, which transmits their amino group on the alpha ketoglutarate molecule. Coming to discuss about the regulation of ornithine cycle. Carbamyl phosphate synthetase 1, the main regulatory enzyme of ornithine cycle, is activated by N-acetyl glutamate. Enzyme N-acetyl glutamate synthetase catalyzes the reaction between acetyl-CoA and glutamate, which produces N-acetyl glutamate. The amino acid arginine increases the enzyme activity, and where the transcription of urea cycle enzymes is increased in high protein diet or by increasing protein catabolism. Therefore, in the increased supply of amino acid, the urea cycle becomes among proton producing reactions. Its activity is reduced at lower pH acidosis. To discuss about glucose-alanine cycle. Alanine participates in the transmission of blood ammonia and also served through pyruvate as a significant source of carbons in the gluconeogenesis. Glucose-alanine cycle is pathway extending between the liver and muscle cells. Pyruvate produced in muscle cells undergoes the transamination to give alanine. It's released into the blood and transferred to the liver, where it is converted back to pyruvate by transamination, and that can be involved in the process of gluconeogenesis. The resulting glucose is released in the blood and enters muscle cells, and the cycles continue. Transferred amino group is directed to the urea cycle. Let us talk about on the degradation of amino acid carbon skeleton. Proteins in the human body, which contains 20 to 21 amino acids and 21 different multi-enzyme sequence which exists for catabolism of amino acids, carbon skeletons. In this text, we restrict ourselves only to the basic general mechanisms of amino acids, carbon skeletal degradation, and a few selected examples. Catabolism of amino acids, carbon skeletons results in the formation of 7 products: pyruvate, acetyl-CoA, acetoacetyl-CoA and alpha ketoglutarate, succinate-CoA, fumarate and oxaloacetate. They have a different fate in the energy metabolism. The strategy of all the cells is to convert amino acids, carbon skeletons to compounds useful in gluconeogenesis or molecule of lipids. Amino acids are divided into glucogenic and ketogenic amino acids according to the fate of the degradation product. Amino acids leucine and lysine belong among ketogenic amino acids, which led to the formation of acetyl-CoA and acetoacetyl-CoA. Glucogenic amino acids include those that lead to the formation of the remaining 5 products: pyruvate, alpha ketoglutarate, succinate-CoA fumarate or oxaloacetate like serine, threonine, cysteine, methionine, aspartate, glutamate and asparagine, glutamine, glycine, alanine, valine, proline, histidine and arginine. But some amino acids have two degradation products, one of them being glucogenic and second one ketogenic. These amino acids are called keto or glucogenic amino acids, and these include isoleucine, phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. The following overview shows degradation products of particular amino acids. Acetyl-CoA and acetoacetyl-CoA, which includes lysine and leucine, are purely ketogenic amino acids. Some other amino acids like phenyl, threonine, trypsin, isoleucine provide glucogenic and ketogenic degradation products. Secondly, alpha-ketoglutarate, which include 5-carbon amino acids, glycine, glutamine, proline, arginine and histidine. Succinate-CoA, non-polar amino acids, methionine, isoleucine and valine. Fumarate, phenylalanine and tyrosine. Pyruvate, which is cysteine, alanine, serine, glycine, threonine and tryptophan. Let us talk about on degradation of brand amino acids, which includes valine, leucine and isoleucine. These are the amino acids which are not degraded in the liver cell but mainly in the extrahepatic tissues, especially high activity in muscle cells. They contain specific transaminase producing the appropriate alpha keto acids, so called keto analogues of branched amino acids. These transaminase is not present in the liver cells. Keto analogues are converted to acyl-CoA derivatives by a dehydrogenase complex which catalyze the oxidative decarboxylation and dehydrogenations. The genetic defect of dehydrogenation complex causes a maple syrup and urine disease. This is relatively rare disease which can lead to accumulation of the appropriate alpha keto acids in the tissues and the body fluid. The defect causes abnormal brain development, mental retardation and even it can result in death of an individual. Students, now let us sum up our topic. Amino acids are a major energy source, especially during conditions in which glucose availability is limited. Most of the amino acids can be used as a substrate for glucogenesis and are termed as glucogenic. In contrast, leucine and lysine are converted to ketone bodies or to acetyl-CoA and are therefore termed ketogenic. The three aromatic amino acids threonine and isoleucine are converted into both glucogenic compounds and ketogenic compounds, therefore both glucogenic and ketogenic. Amino acids, I have to repeat it from first. Amino acids are a major, Dear students, now let us sum up our talk. Amino acids are a major energy source, especially during conditions in which glucose availability is limited. Most of the amino acids can be used as substrate for glucogenesis and are termed as glucogenic. In contrast, leucine and lysine are converted to ketone bodies or to acetyl-CoA and are therefore termed as ketogenic. The three aromatic amino acids threonine, isoleucine are converted into both glucogenic compounds and ketogenic compounds. So therefore both are glucogenic as well as ketogenic. Amino acids are the precursors for synthesis of hormones and low molecular weight nitrogenous substance, with which each having enormous biological importance. Physiological concentration of amino acids and their metabolites are required for the functions. The synthesis of many of the amino acids is very simple reversal of their degradations utilizing a transamination reactions. Amino acid skeletons end up as a major metabolic intermediates during degradations. Likewise, amino acids are also biosynthesized from major metabolic intermediates. Dear students, from these sections you have learnt about how the amino acids get metabolized in the body. Thank you all.